Have you ever been asked, "How was your weekend?" in English and just said, "Fine," even though so much more happened because you did not know how to say it naturally? Today, we are fixing that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Nest. I'm Mia, and I'm here with Max.
Hey everyone, I'm Max, and today we are talking about one of the most common conversations in the English-speaking world.
How was your weekend?
Those 4 words, said every Monday in every office, every classroom, every coffee shop.
And for a lot of learners, even a simple question like this causes panic.
Because you have to respond immediately, on the spot.
On the spot means right now, without time to prepare or think.
And the default answer is always the same.
Fine, it was good.
Which is technically an answer, but it leaves nothing for the other person to work with.
Work with material the other person can respond to and build on.
So the conversation dies. Right there, 2 seconds in.
Let's just do this properly. Max, how was your weekend?
Genuinely, it was really good. I went for a long run Saturday morning, first time in a few weeks.
Oh, nice. How far?
About 8 miles. Took a new route through the park. The weather was perfect.
That is the answer. See what Max did there?
I gave one real thing with a small detail attached.
Not fine. Not good. A human answer with something in it.
Something the other person can actually respond to.
A thread to pull. A detail that opens the conversation further.
Now, how was your weekend, Mia?
A bit mixed, honestly. Saturday was wonderful. Farmer's market in the morning, big lamb stew in the evening.
You made a lamb stew?
Took most of the afternoon. Completely worth it.
And Sunday?
Sunday, I had a deadline creep up on me. Worked most of the day.
Creep up on means approach gradually without you fully realizing it was coming.
So Saturday was 10 out of 10. Sunday was about a 3.
Hence, a bit mixed.
Hence means for that reason. That is why.
Now, how do you describe different types of weekends?
What kind of weekend did you have? That is the real question underneath how was your weekend.
I had a really relaxing weekend. Calm, no demands, genuinely restorative.
Restorative means it gave your energy back. You feel better after it than before.
I had a really busy weekend. Lots happening. Not much downtime.
Downtime means free time with no obligations. Nothing you have to do.
I had a weirdly productive weekend. I actually got things done.
Ha! Weirdly productive is such a relatable phrase. Like it surprised you.
It genuinely did. I cleared out my whole wardrobe last month. 4 bags to charity.
That is so satisfying and exhausting.
Both. Equally both.
A social weekend, lots of people, friends, family, events back to back.
Those feel wonderful on Saturday evening and completely draining by Sunday night.
Draining means using up your energy, like a battery going flat.
I need some quiet to recover after a very social weekend.
A lazy weekend you deliberately did not do very much at all.
And that is not a failure. Sometimes it is exactly what you needed.
Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest.
Now, the key to answering the question well.
One real thing, not a list, just one.
It was really good. I went to a pottery class for the first time.
One detail. That is enough to start a full conversation.
Not bad. Pretty relaxed. Just caught up on some reading.
Caught up on means you finally got to something you had been meaning to do.
Pretty good. We had some friends over for dinner on Saturday.
Pretty good is such a natural phrase. It works for almost any positive weekend.
Pretty means fairly, quite. Not completely, but more than just okay.
Pretty good. Pretty quiet, pretty busy, pretty lazy.
It softens the description just slightly, makes it sound natural and honest.
Now, how you respond when someone tells you about their weekend.
Because a good conversation goes both ways. You listen, you respond.
Oh, nice. Where did you go?
How was it? A simple invitation to say more.
Who did you go with?
Did you enjoy it? The most direct and personal follow-up.
That last one is my favorite. Did you enjoy it?
Because it asks about their experience, not just the facts.
Not what happened, but how it felt for them.
That is the difference between someone who is really listening and someone who is just waiting to talk.
Now, asking before the weekend happens.
Do you have anything on this weekend?
Anything exciting coming up?
Any plans for the weekend?
And then the plans that fall apart, because they always do sometimes.
I was gonna go hiking, but it rained all day.
I was going to, then the plan, but something came up.
Something came up means an unexpected thing happened and changed your plans.
We ended up just staying in and watching films.
Ended up means what actually happened in the end, not what was planned.
And sometimes the plan that falls apart becomes the better day.
The unexpected afternoon with nothing to do.
That can turn into the best afternoon of the month.
Turned out to be what something actually became, often a surprise.
It turned out to be a really lovely afternoon, just pottering around the house.
Pottering around means moving through your home doing small, comfortable things with no agenda.
Very British phrase, very satisfying feeling.
Now, the cultural side of how was your weekend.
Because this conversation works differently depending on where you are.
In the US, the Monday morning "How was your weekend" is almost a ritual.
Ritual means a regular social practice with a kind of meaning attached to it.
You are expected to have a small story, even a tiny one.
Even if the story is, I watched 3 films and ate leftover pizza.
That is a perfectly valid story.
And people will respond, oh, what did you watch?
Because the story is not about being impressive.
It is about being a person, showing you have a life outside of work.
In British English, the answer tends to be much shorter.
Not bad. Quiet one. Can't complain.
Can't complain means things were acceptable. No real problems.
It is a very British answer to almost anything in life.
How are ya? Can't complain. How was your weekend? Can't complain.
Ha! Covers everything. Very efficient.
Now, what if your weekend was genuinely not good?
This happens. Not every weekend is wonderful.
Pretty rough, to be honest. Acknowledging it without going deep.
I have had better. Same energy. Honest without oversharing.
Not the best, light and open. Lets them ask more if they want to.
These are honest answers that do not dump too much on someone at 9 in the morning.
Overshare means giving more personal detail than the moment calls for.
Monday morning is not the time for the full story.
After work over coffee, maybe.
Now, the Monday question is actually a gift for English learners.
A gift?
An automatic invitation to speak English about something easy and personal.
You already know the answer. You lived the weekend.
You are not being tested. You are just sharing something that happened.
One real detail. That is all you need.
And then you turn it back. How about you?
Every time you do this, the conversation gets a little more natural.
A little more automatic.
Automatic means it happens without effort, without thinking.
That is fluency arriving, not in a big dramatic moment.
In small Monday morning conversations about lamb stew and 8-mile runs.
Exactly that.
The fluency is in the small moments.
It always is.
One thing I want to add about the weekend conversation,
Go ahead.
It is one of the best places to practice English storytelling.
Storytelling means telling a small narrative rather than just reporting facts.
when you say, "I went hiking," that is a fact.
When you say, I went hiking on Saturday, it rained the whole time, we did it anyway, and it was completely worth it. That is a story.
Same event,
Completely different conversation.
The second one invites the other person in.
Tell me about the rain. Tell me how it felt. Tell me about worth it.
Because you gave them something real to respond to.
Now, the longer version of how was your weekend?
When someone is a close friend or colleague, they want more than one detail.
They want to know what you actually experienced.
So I said I went for a long run on Saturday. Let me give you the version I would give a real friend.
Go.
It was the first run I had done in 3 weeks. I kept putting it off.
Putting it off means delaying something you kept meaning to do.
So when I finally went Saturday morning, it felt enormous, like I had been waiting for it.
Enormous here means significant, much bigger than just exercise.
The route was new. I had never run through that part of the park before. The light at 7 in the morning was extraordinary.
Extraordinary means far beyond ordinary, something you stop and notice.
I got back home and felt completely different from how I had felt all week.
That is the story. Same run, completely different texture.
Texture means the feel and quality of something beneath the surface.
And now someone who hears that knows something real about how your Saturday felt.
That is connection, not just information exchange.
Now, one last practical thing for English learners specifically.
Tell us.
Prepare your answer on Sunday night.
One real thing. In English, in your head.
Think of it like your Monday vocabulary.
Your Monday vocabulary. The one piece of English you are ready to use at 9 in the morning.
I went to a market, tried a new recipe. I had friends over.
One sentence, you know it. You are ready.
And then the conversation carries you forward naturally.
Because you started. That is the hardest part.
Starting is always the hardest part.
Today's question. How was your last weekend?
Tell us in the comments. Give us a real answer using the phrases from today.
If you are enjoying English Nest, please subscribe right now. New episode every single day.
Hit the like button, share with a friend learning English, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you next time, everyone.